Hey everyone, it's me, Yvonne Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. I will say that I think Mercury retrograde is definitely trying to kill me this time around. And I don't mean that jokingly. I ended up in the emergency room twice during this holiday weekend, and I ended up taking a lovely ambulance ride with some very nice paramedics to the emergency room, apparently because, kidney stones are not easy to pass. Yeah, and that's how I spent my holiday weekend was pretty much dealing with kidney stone and kidney stone pain, but I survived. So that is good. But I say that Mercury is trying to kill me because Mercury retrograde is in my chart, my natal chart, is squaring. Okay, it's by aspect and degree, by degree, and almost to the minute, is squaring. That's the Uranus in my chart, right? And so Uranus is sudden agitation, sudden crisis, sudden, things that suddenly get shaken up. And Uranus happens to be in my 6th house of health. Okay. And it happens to be in Libra, which represents the urinary tract system. So sorry, TMI, everybody, but I just thought the astrology was fascinating. Although I do think that Mercury retrograde needs to settle down a bit because I'm kind of over it. And before that, I had this allergy thing going on for a couple of weeks. I just couldn't get rid of it. And before that, so Mercury has been just kicking my health house like crazy. So, all right. So moving on. Okay, let's move on from that. Let me show you the chart because we do have this beautiful, beautiful Cancer full moon tonight at 6:33 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so I just want to go over what that means. Here's this beautiful Cancer moon, this water moon. And of course, the sun is on the opposite side here in the Earth realm of Capricorn. The one thing that I will add to that, and I say the Mercury retrograde is conjunct close enough to Mars. Okay, Mars, separator, agitation, inflammation, right? And in Sagittarius. And so these two planets are squaring Neptune in Pisces. Now, the one really good thing that I really love about this chart is that we have Jupiter that's it's still retrograde, but it's stationing to turn direct tomorrow. Okay, so that's close enough energy, but it is trining, okay, the sun. So that gives me a little bit of hope. Okay, and then we also see all of these beautiful sextiles. So the moon is connecting beautifully to Jupiter, and then Jupiter is connecting beautifully to Saturn, believe it or not. And then we have Neptune connecting to Pluto. So we have all of these beautiful Saturn connecting to, we have a lot of sextile energy here. So I like this. Okay. All right. So let's talk about what the full moon means. Okay. Why it's important, what we can do with it. And then I'll dive into the Cancer and the astrology from there. Okay. So this Cancer full moon. Let's start with full moon. So the full moon is really a time where we are releasing. Okay. The new moon is a time when we are setting the intentions, right? And so the quarter moons are about adjustments. Okay. The first quarter and then the third quarter, they're about adjustments. So the full moon is really about releasing, right? It's releasing, whether it's releasing, the intentions that you want to bring in, and re-emphasizing the new moon, or it's releasing stuff that you really want to get rid of so that you can get to the intentions that you set for the full moon, for the new moon, excuse me. And that's really how I use the full moon, right? It's more like releasing. You want to do some magic work, do it during the full moon for sure. Okay. Celestial events like this are very empowering energetically to help us with our spell work, right? Okay. So let's talk about Cancer energy. Okay. I love Cancer energy. I do. Moody as heck, but I love Cancer energy. And I say that not having, a strong Cancer placement in my chart, but I am surrounded by people who have strong Cancer placements, right? And okay, so this Cancer energy is water. It's kind of like the ebbing and flowing of the ocean, right? So it's a cardinal sign, but it's also very much ebbing and flowing. It's going one direction or another. Okay. It's not necessarily mutable where it goes in all sorts of different directions. It's more of a moving in one direction or another. Okay. Like the ebbing and flowing of the ocean. Now, Cancer energy, as I said, it can be moody because it deals with emotions. Now, here's one of the misconceptions about Cancer energy. Okay. Cancer energy doesn't necessarily mean that energy is going to show up in an emotional way. It doesn't always emote. Okay. Sometimes Cancer energy and Cancer people don't feel comfortable with their emotions. Sometimes emotions are difficult for Cancer people. And so they try to hide that energy, right? So again, the misconception, from my perspective at least, is that Cancer energy is not necessarily an emotive type of energy. It doesn't always emote. It does, and it doesn't. Okay. All right. And that's kind of the flow. That's where we get the ebb and flow of this water moon. But in essence, what Cancer energy means is really those emotional components about our experience. So Cancer is very much about the qualities of Cancer are very much about the home, okay, family, okay, being protective of family, wanting and needing family and friends for sure. And sometimes that energy, if it doesn't have those qualities of comfort and home and a protective space, okay, and family that it trusts and friends that it can connect with, it will feel very discombobulated. It can become depressed very, very quickly. And so this Cancer energy for this full moon is really about, yes, there's this nurturing, protective essence. Okay, as we step into 2024, it might be a wonderful time for you to consider, how you want to connect with family, and may consider how you want to, move within your relationships. Okay, maybe you need to make some changes, or you need to establish your home. Okay, and focus on home here in the last, full moon of 2023, and as you move into 2024, with that energy in mind. But it's also a very grudge holding type of energy. It is very instinctual and it's very grudge holding. And so this may also be an opportunity for you to, release any situation or experience that you may be holding on to that isn't necessarily suiting you anymore, right? It's about letting go of those things, maybe from this year, from 2023, that were hard or were difficult, or you just outgrew this year. It might be a relationship, might be an experience, might be some feelings, maybe some thoughts, maybe a mindset. Okay, whatever it may be, this would be a really great time to just release them, to let them go. Instinctively, okay, Cancer is a very instinctual, intuitive energy. And so this may also be a time for you to start working with that essence of intuitiveness, okay, and start planting seeds. I have this wonderful group that I'm connected with, and there's some lovely ladies who just had a birthday. So if I may, Carla and Cindy, happy belated birthday. They're Capricorns. Okay. So anyhow, we were having this discussion earlier today about, intuitiveness and how that intuition tends to show up differently for people, right? And in my opinion, our intuitive sense shows up and kicks in. Doesn't mean that we're always right. Okay. But it does mean that the universe wants us to experience that intuition so we can put that information out there, and so it belongs to somebody. Right? It belongs to somebody. It's not our place to say who it belongs to, but that's the essence of Cancer energy. So really the conversation that we had today in the group was very much associated with that Cancerian energy of instinct, intuitiveness, okay, friends, connection. All right. So again, this may be a time for you to, I digress there, but this may be a time for you to really hone in on your instinctual and intuitive nature as well. So keep in mind, though, that some of this, energy is also filtered with this Mercury retrograde. Mercury is mind, thinking, communicating. Okay. And Mars is about action. And in Sagittarius, it wants to move forward. It wants to achieve those goals, right? It wants to communicate the truth of things. All right. And so these two together may cause some inflammatory type of connections or communication. So be mindful of that. And when Mercury is retrograde and you're impulsive, you're probably going to say things or, send that email that you should not have sent immediately. So be very mindful of that in this fire energy. Okay. But you may also, with this Mercury retrograde and Mars squaring Neptune, you may also, Neptune is delusion, illusion, not being able to see clearly through things. maybe thinking that you're communicating the right thing, and then just maybe you're not, the other person isn't receiving it, or you may be misinterpreting each other. So also keep that in mind during this time. Okay, this energy will pass as well, but this Mercury retrograde is absolutely filtered with this. I've been experiencing it left and right. This has been a very difficult Mercury retrograde for me. Not just health-wise. And we have this Jupiter that is going to station tomorrow. It's still retrograde today during this full moon, but it's going to station tomorrow to turn direct. So it is it's slow, right? It's stopped in the sky basically right now. And it's still considered retrograde, but so I'm excited about that because it's trining this beautiful sun in Capricorn. And so this makes me feel like there's going to be the opportunity to seek the truth, right? To accomplish that work. Now, it is the holiday season, okay? So keep this in mind. We have Cancer moon on one side, and when on the opposite side, we have that sun in Capricorn. So there is going to be this tug of war, which is what a full moon is sometimes, a lot of times, okay? This tug of war between these two energies about home and family and friends and getting work done. And so a lot of us are still trying to balance these two energies out during the holiday. We have this, having to spend time with family, but also being very mindful that some of us still have to work, right? So keep that energy in mind as well. So as we put this all together, I think overall, this is a good moon for me. It feels, one that we can end the 2023 on. It's not the best moon, but it's also not the worst moon. If we could get rid of that Mercury retrograde, Mars, and then squaring Neptune, that would be lovely, but we can't. So all I'm going to say is this, be cautious of your emotions. Okay. Be cautious of your thoughts. Okay. They may be very impulsive. You may not be seeing them correctly. We had a discussion in the group earlier about processing emotion and maybe not processing emotion, or not feeling or not thinking emotion. That's very true going on right now. This is the energy that we're working with. So again, be mindful of that. But overall, here's what I would say. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to let go, okay, release what you don't want to bring into 2024. And that's what I'm going to say. That's it. All right, everyone. If you want to learn more about your astrology, you can find me at silvermooncounseling.org. That is silvermooncounseling.org. And that is pretty much it. Everyone have a blessed, blessed be new year, and I will see you in 2024. Take care, everyone.